Hey guys, Wildcat here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to disassemble the upper portion of your WE Hi-Capa. Now, this is the Dragon 5.1 Hi-Capa, so it does have the split competition slide, but other than the screw to take off the front half of the slide, everything is exactly the same. So don't let the looks of this deter you from using this video as a resource for your WE Hi-Capa, as the internals and body and functions will be the exact same. So because this has the split competition slide, the first thing we have to do is take off the front compensator. So you're going to want to get an Allen key, and you're going to turn the gun over so you can see the little screw right here. It is a hex screw, so you will need a rather small Allen key. On mine, it is the second smallest tool that I'm going to be using. So you just line it in there and unscrew. Once you have that out, just place it somewhere where you are not going to forget it. And then it can just slide off. So then from here, we are going to remove the slide from the lower frame itself. So to do that, you have to rack the slide back partially. So you're going to see a small indent right here. It's different than the cutout for the slide lock. It's going to be right behind it, and so right here, you're going to hold the slide and then turn over, and if you see this button right here, you're going to push in until it pops out. Just going to readjust. There we go. Again, the slide catch will just pop right out, and you can place it somewhere where it's not going to be needed. And your slide should just come right off from there. So I'm going to put the lower frame and body aside. So now that we have the complete slide itself, you're going to want to first remove the spring guide. So to do that, you're going to want to use both hands for this one. You're going to take the front end right next to the hop-up, and you're going to want to push forward until you can have them both on the inside of the slide. Clamp it together, and it should easily slide out. So again, just in case my hands were in the way, you're going to want to push these two together so that'll remove the spring from the other side, and you can just slide it out very easily. So just put this right here. And then from here, the barrel assembly and hop-up can slide right out. We will get back to this in a later video. And then we are left with the blowback housing. So to remove the blowback housing, we're going to want to flip the slide over. And if you look here on the rear sight, there's going to be an adjustment screw. We're going to need to unscrew that adjustment screw. So first, we are going to take out a flathead screwdriver that I have right here, and we are just going to unscrew it. Now there is a spring underneath here, which is how the adjustments can be made. So be careful to not have that pop out when you're unscrewing. So once we have it up, make sure you get the screw, put it somewhere where you're not going to lose it, and I would suggest putting the spring itself, I'm just going to put it right up here. Make sure that that is with the screw. When I disassemble things, I tend to group things together so I don't mix up pieces when I'm reassembling. It's very useful for me, and I hope that you guys can use that too. So then once you have the screw and the spring out and the sight flipped up, you're going to notice that there is a Phillips head screw right here. So we're going to take a very small Phillips head screwdriver, and we're just going to unscrew it. Now this is one of two screws that hold in the blowback housing, so you don't need to worry about it falling out just yet. So we're going to take that out, put it right here. And now we're going to go to the second of the two screws. So that is located right here, and that is also a hex screw, so I'm going to be using my Allen key once again. And this is actually just one one tool up from the one we used previously, so it will be the third smallest in my set. So we're just going to unscrew it, but I will suggest putting your finger on the blowback housing so it doesn't just fall out. So just be a little careful. It takes a little bit to screw in. It is a longer screw. So we're just going to unscrew this right here while keeping pressure on the blowback housing itself so it does not fall right out of the slide. Again, it does take a little bit. I think I got it. All right, put that right here and put our tool down. So now the blowback housing with a little wiggle can come right out. I'll put that right here. So now that we have the blowback housing, you're going to notice that it has a spring right up here. Now, if you are having a feeding issue with your WE Hi-Capa, odds are that it is that this spring has worn down. That was actually the feeding issue with this pistol that I just recently fixed, and I ended up replacing the spring and the nozzle together just so I can have a clean set, but you do not need to do that. So we're just going to take out the spring. Right here, it just pops out. Make sure you keep track of it. And then to remove the nozzle from the blowback housing itself, you're going to pull it all the way out. And you see where right here the little nozzle has a little lip that goes in the slot? You're going to want to hook that out. So you're going to lift your nozzle up and it should slide out. Now, one thing I will note for older WE pistols like this one's nearing 2 years old, the blowback housing is a stiff fit for the newer NG3 nozzles. Now it fits and it works perfectly fine. It's just that in some areas it is a tiny bit thicker. So for putting it back in, it takes a little bit of wiggle room, but once it's in, it functions perfectly fine. So once you have the blowback housing, there is the piston head right here. Now to remove that, you just need a Phillips head screwdriver, and I'm actually not going to remove this because it just comes out and you can put it back in. So we're going to leave this intact for now because you don't really need to remove it. So now that is the disassembly of the WE Hi-Capa. This is a 5.1, but it should be identical to a 4.3. The only difference is the length of the slide itself. The internal pieces are actually the same. So I'm going to have another video about the hop-up and barrel assembly specifically, and then I will have a video on the reassembly from here. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.